A team of doctors rallies around a baby born prematurely, trying to save her life. Moments later, the mother of the baby, Diane Sherman, is taken to see the state of her child, who is already placed in an incubator. In tears, Diane observes her for a while and asks the nurses around her if her baby will be okay. Fast forward 17 years later to Pasco, Washington, where Diane lives alone with her now teenage daughter, Chloe. Chloe suffers from arrhythmia, hemochromatosis, asthma, diabetes, and paralysis. As a result, she takes multiple medications daily and is confined to a wheelchair. Chloe desires to go to school but is homeschooled by her mother while awaiting an acceptance letter from the University of Washington. Diane shows a desire to see Chloe leave home to start college, but she continually prevents her from seeing the letters that arrive in the mail before her. One day, Diane returns home with bags of groceries. As soon as she gets inside the house, her phone rings. Moving away to take the call, Chloe quickly reaches into one of the bags and grabs some chocolates. While trying to return the bag, she spots a prescription bottle containing green pills with Diane's name on the label. Later, when Diane adds one of those pills to Chloe's daily medication, Chloe questions her about why she's giving her a medication with Diane Sherman's name on it. Diane lies, claiming that her name is on the bottle because it was on the receipt. Chloe, not completely convinced, secretly reaches for the medicine in the cabinet and takes it to her room for inspection. There, she discovers that the name of the medication is trigoxin, and a label bearing her name has been pasted over the original label that reads Diane Sherman. With this discovery, Chloe decides to stop taking the medicine. That night, when Diane gives her the medication, Chloe takes it, but, as soon as Diane leaves, she vomits it back up. Later, Chloe tries to search for information about trigoxin online but discovers that the computer has no internet connection. The following day, Chloe sneaks into her mother's bedroom and dials a random number on the telephone there. When a stranger picks up, she asks him to help her look up the medicine online. The stranger informs her that the medicine is used to treat heart conditions, and all the pictures of it online show a small red pill. This revelation destabilizes Chloe, and she observes the medicine for a while. During dinner, Chloe suggests they go see a movie, and Diane agrees. The next morning, they drive to the movie theater. While watching the film, Chloe tells Diane that she needs to go to the restroom. She leaves the theater and rushes to a pharmacy across the street. At the pharmacy, she encounters a long queue but pleads with the last man in line to let her cut ahead. When she meets with the pharmacist, Mrs. Bates, Chloe hands her the medicine and asks to know its name. Mrs. Bates runs a search on the medicine and informs Chloe that it is called Lidocaine, a muscle relaxant meant for dogs. When Chloe asks what happens if humans take the medicine, Mrs. Bates tells her that their legs could go numb. Diane, who has already stepped into the pharmacy looking for Chloe, finds her hyperventilating. She requests an ice bucket from Mrs. Bates, prompting the pharmacist to leave the scene. Diane then implores the people in line to move away and seizes the opportunity to inject Chloe with a sedative without being noticed. Afterward, she takes her home. While Diane is out, Chloe wakes up and tries to leave her room, only to discover that the door is locked. Being a clever teenager, she figures out a way to unlock it. When she does, it is revealed that Diane has used a broom handle to block the door from the outside, preventing her from opening it. Not ready to give up, Chloe climbs out of her room through the window and onto the roof. She drags herself across the roof and successfully makes her way to Diane's bedroom window. Using a soldering iron and water, she breaks the glass and climbs into the room. Once inside, Chloe begins to have an asthma attack and, upon checking her pocket, discovers she doesn't have her inhaler. She drags herself to her room, retrieves her inhaler, and relieves her asthma. Then, she tries to use her automated wheelchair ramp to go downstairs but discovers that Diane has disconnected the power cord. Frustrated, she throws the wheelchair down the stairs. As she tries to drag herself downstairs, she slips and rolls down the steps. Due to the fall, Chloe sustains some injuries but discovers that she can move one of her toes now that she has stopped taking Lidocaine. She manages to get herself seated in the wheelchair and leaves the house. While moving down the road, Chloe hears the sound of an oncoming vehicle. Fearing it might be Diane, she runs to hide. When she sees that it's not Diane but a mail truck, she rushes to stop it. Chloe narrates her ordeal to the driver, Tom, and as he attempts to help her into the truck, Diane sees them and stops behind the vehicle. She quickly approaches Tom, asking if Chloe is okay and requesting to take her home. Tom explains that Chloe is hurt because of Diane and doesn't want to go home with her. Instead, she'd rather go to the police. After trying in vain to convince Tom, Diane pleads to be allowed to follow them wherever they're headed. After helping Chloe into the van, as Tom attempts to close the doors, Diane suddenly appears and stabs him in the neck with a syringe, injecting him with a substance. Tom collapses to the ground. Chloe begins to hyperventilate again and then blacks out. She awakens to find herself in the basement of her house. There, she discovers her college acceptance letters that had been hidden from her. This infuriates Chloe, causing her to throw other items off the table in a fit of rage. Thereafter, she spots a suspicious box and attempts to wheel herself over to it, only to discover that her wheelchair is chained. Abandoning the wheelchair, she drags herself to the box, brings it down, and opens it. Inside, Chloe finds a childhood photo of herself walking, along with a death certificate for a baby named Chloe who died 2 hours and 11 minutes after birth. This reveals that Diane's real daughter died shortly after birth. She also discovers an article about a couple whose newborn baby was stolen from the same hospital. All these revelations cause Chloe to break down in tears. Soon, Diane enters the basement, and Chloe questions her about everything she has discovered, demanding to know the truth. Diane denies all accusations and insists that everything she did was for Chloe's own good. Chloe asks Diane if she was ever sick, if she could walk, and if her heart beats normally. As the questions keep coming, Diane becomes agitated and prepares a mixture, filling a syringe with it. Terrified, Chloe pleads with her not to do something bad. Ignoring her pleas, Diane advances toward her with the syringe. In a panic, Chloe drags herself into a storage room and locks the door. Diane implores Chloe to open the door, promising not to hurt her and insisting that the injection is meant to help her forget everything happening at the moment. When Chloe doesn't respond, Diane searches for the key to the door and unlocks it. As soon as Chloe sees Diane, she drinks from a bottle of organophosphate. Consequently, Diane is forced to take her to the hospital. Chloe wakes up in a hospital bed, intubated and barely able to move any part of her body. Diane requests that Chloe be discharged now that she has been stabilized, wanting to take her home. However, the doctors refuse, stating that an attempted suicide by an adolescent makes her a high-risk patient and that she needs to be evaluated by a mental health physician. After meeting with the doctors, Diane stares at Chloe through the glass wall. When Chloe sees her, she manages to press the help button and signals to the nurse in her room to give her something to write with. While Chloe attempts to write Mom on the paper, a sudden emergency code blue alarm, engineered by Diane, goes off, causing the nurse to rush out of the room. Diane sneaks in, disconnects all the medical equipment connected to Chloe's body, ties her to a wheelchair, and takes her out of the room. When the nurse returns, she is surprised to find the bed empty. She discovers the note written by Chloe and immediately alerts hospital security. As Diane attempts to find an exit, Chloe, now able to move her legs, stops the wheelchair from moving. Just then, security guards approach and command Diane to put down her gun. Diane points her gun at them, yelling, "We are going home." She is shot in the arm and, as a result, falls down the stairs. 7 years later, Chloe still uses her wheelchair but is now able to walk short distances with a walking stick, though it remains a struggle. She visits Diane, who is confined to a bed in the infirmary ward of a correctional facility. Chloe shares with Diane what her life has been like so far. She talks about her improved walking ability, her daughter, Annie, and her husband. She mentions that during Christmas, Annie enjoys spending time with all her grandparents but prefers to be with her own parents, implying that Chloe has reunited with her real parents. When it's time for her to leave, Chloe spits out 3 pills of lidocaine that she had hidden under her tongue. She then says to Diane, "I love you, Mom." Now open wide. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you for watching.